Hello everyone, and welcome to the Quick and Carry Kitchen. I'm Kristen Madrine, and I have an easy but elegant recipe for you today. This is easy enough that you could do it for a quick lunch or a dinner, or it's elegant enough that you could invite company over. So before we get down to business on the recipe, I want to welcome all of you who are joining me live. Welcome to the show today, and I want to say a big shout out to all of you who join us later, because I know that at 12 noon on a Friday, many of you are working or you're busy, you're running errands, and you can't join us live, but we love that you join us later. So thanks to everyone who's tuning in right now. Hi, Diane Yoakum. How are you today? Glad to see you, old friend of the show. So I found this recipe on the instantpot.com website, and I thought, gosh, this sounds delicious. So we're making apricot chicken today, and it's basically an Indian recipe. And what I've done is I have already cooked the chicken. So I took the chicken thighs and I salted and peppered them very well, and then I sauteed them in the foodie. You could also use an Instant Pot. Either one is fine. You don't want to crowd them too much because you want them to get nice and brown. So I'm going to lift these up and show you. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you our awesome tongs, and I'm going to congratulate Catherine Franz, who won these this week. You're our winner, Catherine. So make sure that you leave me a comment down below so that you could win a pair of tongs or maybe even a bag next week. We're going to give away a bag in one of the next two shows. So be sure you tune in next week and the week after that for our big giveaway. Kathy Lacey, hi, how are you? Sue Johns, C.M. Miller, hi. Amy DeLong, Maine, you're great to be here with me today. Linda Bragg from Burbank, Illinois. Hi, Kathy Leathers, happy Friday to you too. Tony Krinsky, you made it on time. I knew you wanted to, Tony. So like I said, I salted and peppered, and then I cooked just to brown about 4 minutes, 6 minutes each side, to get the chicken partially cooked. And then I added these onions that you can see, and the onions are perfectly done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a tablespoon of grated fresh ginger, and in our recipe that we'll send to you, it says 2 cloves of garlic, but I didn't think that was enough. So this is actually 4 or 5 cloves of garlic for our actual show recipe today. And I'm just going to let those saute for about a minute. And you can see that those onions are just perfectly browned. And you want to just get the garlic and the ginger fragrant. And then I have my chicken stock with me, and I'm going to add about a half a cup of chicken stock just to deglaze the pan. And with the foodie, there's not as big of a psh, but you can sort of hear it. And you can see that that just gets all the brown bits off the bottom of the pan. Then I'm going to add the spices. So I'm going to turn the saute off because I can. And now I'm adding some cinnamon, some allspice, some salt, and pepper. And I'm just going to stir that until that's nice and fragrant. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Oh, that smells so delicious. And then I'm going to add 1 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. There we go. And a package of apricots. You could use unsulfured or sulfured. Today, the market that I went to only had the sulfured apricots, and they're fine. These are good Mediterranean ones. And so stir all that together, and then you're just going to add the chicken back in. So let me use my tongs, and I'm just going to sort of push down the first layer, get it sort of in there. Very nice. All the juices that they acquired there on the plate. And just stir it a little bit. And even though there's technically not a whole cup of water in this, between the half a cup of the broth that I used and the can of tomatoes, that's plenty of liquid. So now I'm going to make sure that my toggle is set to sealing, and I'm going to put on the lid. And I'm going to pressure cook on high for 11 minutes. So on the foodie, it always comes up as 10. So I'm just going to give it one more minute to 11, press start, and we're good to go. In the other pot this week, I have basmati rice already made, because we're going to have this as a feast here in the Quick and Carry kitchen for our lunch today. So I've made a pot of white rice, and with basmati white rice, you just put in 1 to 1 to 1. So 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I did 4 cups of rice, 4 cups of water, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Put it on for 3 minutes, and then you let it have a natural pressure release of 18 to 20 minutes. And the rice is perfectly cooked, and it's just going to be great for underneath this beautiful dish that we've made. So I'm going to show you. Tell me, am I in the right spot for this? Can you see it? Uh-oh. Well, now they're telling me that you can't see my overhead camera. So I'm going to try to show you the finished dish. I sprinkled a little Italian parsley over the top of it. You can see the tomatoes and the apricots. It's so fragrant and it's delicious. I tried it over some of the rice, and I could not believe how good this was. It's so easy to do, and yet it is very elegant. Judy Burr, hi from San Antonio, Texas. Talani Sumner, hi from North Carolina. Cindy Redden is here. Yes, Sia Miller, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. You could do this with breasts instead of with thighs. I got the thighs because that's what the Instant Pot's website called for, but I sort of prefer breasts myself, and I think that it would be fine if you did it with either one. You could also do it with like thighs and leg parts, and it would be just fine with either way, with either of those kinds of meats. So, Erica, nice to see you with us today. Kathy, Lacey, yes, it would be great for dinner tonight. Probably you have all of this in your cupboards, except maybe the apricots. If you have apricots in your cupboard, I'm going to give you a gold star today, because that's not something that I keep around, but I might, because this is such a great, easy recipe, and it is so delicious. So let's just do a little review. I salt and peppered the chicken parts, and like we just said, you could use chicken thighs, chicken legs, or breasts. You're going to want to add a layer of oil to the bottom of your pot. And once the pot is hot, this is an important thing to remember, especially when you're searing meat. Let the pot become hot before you put the meat in it. So put the pot on saute, put your oil in, and once your oil is hot, then add the chicken pieces. Fry them about 6 minutes per side, take them out and let them set. Put your onions in and get them nice and brown and flavorful. At the end of that, add your garlic and your fresh ginger. deglaze the pan with some, I'm using cooking stock, some chicken stock, but you can use broth if you have that. You could also use water if you don't have any broth. Because of the tomatoes, you'd be fine with just using water. Then I added a small can of diced tomatoes, about 8.5 ounces of the apricots, and I've put the chicken back in on top, just submerged it a little, 11 minutes, and we're going to have a delicious lunch here. So, oh, Kathy Lacey, you have apricots in your house. You do get the gold star for the day. Congratulations. That is awesome. And you have ginger root too. Well, Kathy, you're all set for dinner tonight. We're all coming over to your house for dinner, Kathy. So anyway, let's talk about next week. Next week, I'm going to be making a red velvet cake in the Instant Pot, which I'm very excited about. I put that out on our social media this week, and everyone who responded was like, yes, let's make that. So next week I'll be doing a red velvet cake in the Instant Pot, and one of the next 2 weeks we're going to give away a bag instead of just our tongs. So that's an exciting little gift to you guys. Make sure that you leave me comments or questions down below. I love, after the show, the conversations that we sometimes have are great. Thank you for watching today. And as our friend and patron saint of the Quick and Carry Kitchen, Julia Child always used to say, bon appetit.